All right, you loyal listeners. Welcome to another episode of Agency Intelligence Podcast, where I give you that real agency intelligence and not the artificial that they try to make you believe out there. This is Cass, and I am here today with Juan Rueda, who happens to be our director of the Colombian facility for virtual intelligence. Also is our head of training. Virtual Intelligence, a company that I also own, is known for having high quality virtual employees and having them well trained. So well trained that we actually have a few aggregators who have reached out to us and said, Jason, you train virtual employees so well. Can you teach or can you create a course that teaches licensed people, right? So we're going to get a little bit more, not really into that. This isn't a selling period, but what we are here to talk about is how having Gen Z on your team can help change the game for your agency. So Juan, before I go on, welcome to the podcast, my friend.
Thank you for having me, Jason. As I said, as you said, I'm Juan Rueda, Managing Director from Regional Intelligence, Head of Training. I help agencies basically put the right task with the right person at the right time.
Woo! And if you guys don't know, next agency, when we're building that, that's one of our sayings. We probably took it from one and we don't even realize it. The right task to the right person at the right time. That's exactly right. So before I go on, I want to remind you guys, you need to go to AIIndieTech.com. You need to check out IndieTech 2027 is coming up February 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. February 1st is going to be BrainShare. Right now, tickets are on sale for IndieTech, which is the 2nd and 3rd of February. Get out there and check out that website. You're going to be blown away by the people that we have coming. We've got Chris Voss coming, Never Split the Difference, Hostage Negotiator. I'm going to be honest, 10 to 20% of the people coming to IndieTech are coming for that reason. It's going to be a fantastic time. Go check it out. AI IndieTech. That's IndieTech.com. AIIndieTech.com. Tickets right now are on sale for $299. If you are a member of the Florida Association of Insurance Agents, they are partners of ours, and you'll actually see on the pricing page that you have a discount. And then if you're also a Momentum user, you have a discount off of that. So can't wait to see that. We've got almost 350 agents already signed up. That tells me that once the carriers come in, once the vendors come in, we're already going to have 500 plus people at this thing. It's going to be exciting. It's going to be electric. I'm excited about it. So, Juan, let's get on to this topic here. I think that this topic is really cool, right? Just to kind of set it up, first of all, he is a Gen Z, and so he's at the top
97,
of that.
baby. You're 97.
You're 97? Yes. Oh, wow. Excuse me, loyal listeners. I apologize for that. Wow, that came out of nowhere. Anyways, the oldest person that I have working for me in my almost all my businesses, of almost 200 employees, of almost all my businesses, the oldest I have, I've got Michael Cruz and Travis. They're my partners. I've got Marvin in my office. He's like 32. The next youngest is Mitch at 30, and everyone else is young, that age or below.
Yes.
So, I mean, I am living in a Gen Z world. Okay. I totally, truly am. And I got to be honest with you, I think, and Juan, you're a part of that. I think this is one of the reasons why we're all successful at what we do, because Gen Z brings something to the table that's actually against what modern society today thinks about Gen Z, and want to talk about that.
Yes.
So I'll start with you. Why, let's just start. No, nothing in order. Why would you say that it's important, and how are agencies and businesses going to win having Gen Z in their office?
Okay, so Gen Z, they are right now the people who are going to the job market, massive people, jobs. That's a lot of people that are going to get into the labor market right now, and you need to be ready for it. These are the people that have grown on technology. They have grown on social media. They know how to sell through social media. They have changed completely the game on how everything works. Okay,
that I agree.
We question ourselves everything. You know, I start in this business by questioning first of all, like why or how I'm able to train someone in insurance if I'm not even licensed. How am I going to do that? You know,
Yeah. Good point,
so I
Juan.
started by questioning this um, when we started back in 2022, and basically my conclusion was it's possible. I'm not licensed, but I can train people on doing the job with the information that I have available. Because I know my agents, I'm friends with agents like Michael Cruz, with you. I've been
Hmm.
able to get a lot of information. I've been enrolled into different courses. Um, I've been working in an agency as well. So I thought to myself, what's stopping me of training other people on becoming unlicensed agents? And that question has e- uh, took an evolution, and I have right now taken to the other level, to the next level. Like, what if I train people to become licensed? And that's our new project that we're working on, which is Agency Training Institute. This is a new course that we're
Hmm.
going to not only teach how to get licensed, but also how to do the job. How to deal with customers,
Hmm.
everything. So yes, Gen Z
Yeah,
is
it's
massive. They actually understand technology as you couldn't even comprehend. Me, I'm a business major. I haven't done anything related to tech like in my early years. And again, I question myself, how can I take my training to the next level? And that's when I started
hmm.
to get into tech, AI, to build new stuff. And that's where I started to build simulators to train our current employees. So Gen Z, they always have like this hunger to learn more and to implement things that you thought maybe they were impossible or very expensive to build. You know,
I agree. I agree. And you lead a whole team. I mean, you lead 60, 70 Gen Zers. I mean, I think
most
there's
of
people that
them,
are older
most
than
of
you,
them,
some of them, but most of the people, the virtual employees, there's some, but like when I think of our marketing
yeah.
team, our sales team, Marvin works in finance, so he's probably the oldest at 32. So he's not a Gen Z, but he's on that bottom of that what would be that millennials. And then so that people do understand, if they didn't catch it, Juan actually flew to America and worked in Michael Cruz's office for a year and a half. Wasn't
Um,
it almost 2 years? How
yeah,
long was that?
like, well, I first started working for a title company and then I transitioned to insurance. Michael was the one who was doing insurance for the title company, and I knew Michael Cruz in that company, and we basically become friends. And then I started working for his agency, and I started to know everything about insurance before transitioning into this BPO business.
Gotcha. That makes sense. Which is a lot. I mean, you work in an agency for anywhere from 14 to 18 to 20 months. You're going to learn a lot. I mean, you're going to learn a ton, especially when you may not know the ins and outs of the operations like some people who have 5, 10, 20 years. But to understand when the phone rings, the customer service that's demanded, the tasks that you have to do, the skill set you have to have. Yeah, you've really mastered that. Now, what's amazing is when we go back to the way a lot of society in America feels is that Gen Z's lazy. Let's see, I've got a couple lists here. They job hop. I think there's some interesting things
Okay,
there. They don't want to
I want to talk
work.
about that.
They're glued to their
Hey, let me talk about
phones.
that. Let's talk
What?
about that. Okay. So
Okay.
what I've learned leading that this type of team like Gen Z, that they respond really well when you give them ownership. Okay, if you give them
Hmm.
fast feedback and clear standards.
Ooh, fast feedback. I
You
like
know,
that.
we want everything instant. We we grew with this with phones, and we want everything instant. We want instant gratification. You know
Hmm.
that, and that
Yeah.
also translating the workplace. Like, I want instant feedback. I want to know if what I've done it's good or bad. Most of the people that work here, they ask me like, hey, they haven't given me feedback, and they stress a lot of that about that. Like, why they haven't given me feedback? I'm doing this right. I'm doing this wrong. They need quick feedback. Regarding phones,
So that's what you're hearing. Wait a minute. That's what you're hearing from the
yes,
VEs that are questioning the agencies. They're saying, hey, Juan, the agencies. Oh, that's such good. Loyal listeners who are all agency owners mostly. That's good. So they're wanting that feedback. That's awesome. Good insight
they
there,
want
Juan.
it by chat. They want it by in a call. But they want it instantly. Okay.
Wow, that's important. I really like that because like one of the things is how do I get my Gen Z to be involved in my business? How do I get them to be involved in my team? It's not about like having them come into your office is what you're saying and you sitting down and telling them how great they are 15 minutes. A simple chat of hey, great work, Hey, saw you what you did there. Great, way to bring that topic to the team, just little things like that is what you're saying is what they're wanting. I mean, you guys are used to text small messages anyways,
Yes,
right? Yeah, I guess. Am I right
you're
there?
totally right. Um,
Okay.
we
Good
prefer
insight. I didn't even think of
chatting
that.
than calling, to be honest with you.
Yeah. Another good thing. Another good thing.
Um,
I like that.
Also, yeah, if you do all of that things, like if you give them ownership, if you give fast feedback, and if you have clear standards for them, you are not only going to get like an employee that complete task for you, you're going to get someone who actually improves systems in your agency.
So let me talk about that real quick. So I love what you say about ownership. Now let's translate that for agencies. It doesn't mean that you're giving them a piece of the ownership of the business. Now, believe me, they like that if they work their ass off over time. But I'm not saying against that. But like in my agency, and this is funny because I've just always done this. We are building an empire. We talk about that quite frequently. Sophia is in charge of the claims empire, right? Lordland's in charge of the personal lines empire. And that's what we question each other whenever we have our meetings is, so how are you building your empire today? Right? Those are the different things that we try to talk about because it gives them ownership. Like they understand that they can make the rules, they can make the decisions within the bounds that they've been given. Is that some of the ownership type that you're kind of talking about
Yes,
there,
exactly.
Juan?
They want to feel like their work matters, like they own an outcome, not just like a checklist.
Yeah.
And this,
They own an
yeah,
outcome. Well said, my friend. Wow. That's powerful, dude. I'm telling you what, I'm being serious when I say this, Juan. You've laid out some really good insight, even for me. I mean, as an agency owner, I'm going, oh shit, okay. And I have to admit, I'm not bragging. I just do a lot of this stuff. Maybe that's the reason why I'm able to see some of this. Now, here's some of the things that I found out. Okay, you talked about one of the things I mentioned here in it. They job
Mhm.
hop. Now, this is a thought that I've had for a long time. So when I raised my son, who was born in 99, would be considered a Gen Z, both of them, we came home from school, got out at 3. We went to baseball practice at 4:30. They came home and ate lunch and ate dinner at 5:30. We took a bath at 7. We did our homework at 8. We went to bed at 9. Just making that up. But yet, whenever we come bring them into the work environment, we give them a little bit of cup of rules and we tell them to get to work. Right? When I was born and a lot of agency owners, we came home from school, we didn't have a schedule. Mom said, get the hell out of the damn house, and you went and stood on the front porch and you looked around and you got creative and you created your own stuff. That's not how we raised our kids that are Gen Zs. So when they come into the workforce, we do the same thing. We kind of put them on the front step and we say, go, all right, answer the phone when it comes in. And there are no workflows, no SOPs, no understanding, no feedback, no insight. And they're sitting there going, what the hell do I do? And then when they can't get that, they absolutely leave. Juan, when we were on the phone with Secure Risk the other day talking about their training program, one of the things they said, which I thought was really good, is they said, Jason, the young people that we have that we're hiring for our agencies, they expect a training program. And if you don't give it to them, they're going to go to another industry or another agency, usually the larger agencies that do have those structured training programs. You remember when she said
Yes,
that? That was kind of that was eye-opening to me too,
we
you
want
know?
structure. They want
So,
structure. Like sometimes they are job hopping because they are not seeing a path to grow or growth. If an agency
that's
gives
right.
them development, feedback, and real responsibility, um, a lot of that loyalty problem looks very different. You know?
I think so. Also, I think loyalty looks different in the fact that somebody who is a Gen X or an Xennial, which is what I would be, caught between millennials and Gen X. They were told that you got a Gen Z or Gen X person that goes to work for a company for 30, 35 years. He or she retires and they get a gold watch for their loyalty to the business,
Hmm.
right? But yet a Gen Z will work hard for you for a year and a half and leave and go somewhere else. And they feel as if they were just as loyal. Loyalty means different things to different generations, right? Like, hey, I was there for 18 months. I was loyal, showed up every day, put my best foot forward. I believed in the mission. But just because I had some other opportunity over here to better myself doesn't mean that I'm necessarily loyal. So really the definition and the understanding of loyalty kind of changes, to be fair, in a way. And that's completely okay. Everybody interprets things differently, especially with your surroundings of what you were born in versus what I was born in and raised in.
Yeah, and that's kind of also because of how much cost of living has increased nowadays. I've seen like I saw a story yesterday of a guy who actually worked at Sears. He worked for 35 years, and he was telling that 35 years ago when he started working at Sears, like people built a career based on that job. It wasn't just like, no, this is just a layover job. They built a career. They
Right.
raised 3 kids and put them through school just with a role in Sears, which nowadays it doesn't have like the same relevance it has 35 years ago. You could build a career in different industries, different as of today, that it's very difficult, like people are living paycheck to paycheck. And Gen Z is actually noticing that as well. And they just want to have, like, again, instant gratification, instant money. They're just job hopping mainly because they want a salary increase in the fastest way,
Mm-hmm. You're right. And let's be honest, companies aren't loyal like they used to be
Yeah,
either.
exactly.
Right? So, and then we're expecting that out of them. And Gen Z has grown up in a world where they've seen people give their whole life to a company and then the company goes bankrupt or the company goes and does something and messes up their IRA. I think of Enron. You were probably like 5 years old when that happened back in 2002. A company by the name of Enron literally was taking out of these people's 401k, went bankrupt, and these people who had worked for Enron forever like lost everything. I mean, can you imagine like giving your whole life to a company and at the age of 60 you find out you have nothing? I mean, holy cow.
And there's
Um
people who saw their parents
so-
grow on that, and that's basically has been like passed from generation to generation, if that makes sense. And the trust between employee and company
mhm,
has been lost in these newer times, in this present. You know,
totally. And you've grown up seeing that, right? So it only would expect that maybe that would start to grow on you a little bit. As we wrap up here, one of the things that I tell agents a lot, I've said this for a couple years, there's 5 reasons why these young generation, one of the things you should say to your young generation when you're hiring agents. Number one, you need to let them know. These are things that young people don't know about the insurance industry. Okay. This is what makes us better than almost every other industry. Number one, flexible schedule. You have a flexible schedule. Family is important to Gen Z just like it is millennials, right? Having young kids and being a part of their life, their family. If you think about it, and I say this to a lot, I've said this to all my young people, you're never going to miss a baseball game that your kid has. You're never going to miss a school recital that they may have because you're in an industry that allows you to have a flexible schedule. If you work as a nurse, if you work at the factory, you don't get that option. You're going to get certain days that you can go. But no, in insurance, just let us know that you need to have off because your kid's going to a game or your grandkid's going to a game. You can have off. Number one, that's important. And I don't think that people who don't have kids don't realize how important that is. And they do once they have kids in this industry. Number two is financial freedom. You will work in an agent industry that you can make an unlimited amount of money. And most agencies have an unbelievable career path. You could start out as somebody who's just doing quotes and then move into a CSR and then move into an account manager and then maybe even to a producer, maybe into an operations manager. Those things are needed because the things you learn, we don't want to get rid of somebody because it's hard to find an operations manager from another industry who understands the uniqueness and the fingerprints of an agency. Number three is what I like to call a community leader. So, like, because you have a flexible schedule, you can be the president of the parent teachers conference that at your school, right? You could be the mayor of the city. You could be the president of the chamber of commerce. You have time to do other things other than just be an agent. And that's huge for people who want to be involved. Number four, I like to call them an empire builder. It goes back to what we were saying, is being in the insurance industry, you can build your own empire, especially if you're a producer. You can build your own book of business. You're literally building your own IRA for the future. Very, very powerful. And number five, mentorship. A lot of people like to give back. That's just like in our nature. It's really crazy if you think about it. There's nothing in the world that every human feels the same except for giving back. There's no human on the face of the earth that doesn't give something to somebody or give back and go, I didn't like that. Really think about that. Like there's not many other things in the whole world that you could say 8 billion people feel this exact same way when they do this. And so, I mean, hurting somebody, there's some people that get off on hurting people, right? I mean, but most of us don't. But like the number one thing, and that's why we say all the time, like love, but giving back, thinking of others is something that's huge. Those 5 things, whenever you're interviewing somebody, loyal listeners, you need to tell them about a flexible schedule. Tell them about financial freedom. Tell them about being a community leader. Tell them they can be an empire builder. Tell them that they're going to be able to give back in their mentorship. That is something they don't see behind the walls, and they don't realize that. Wrapping up, anything you want to kind of add here, Juan? Anything that maybe you had in your notes or something that we didn't get a chance to
No,
talk
actually,
about?
that is a great framework that you mentioned because those 5 things are exactly what make an insurance more than a job for a young person. But yeah, awesome.
Yes.
Um, Also,
Yeah.
another thing that I want to say is question everything. Like question everything, and that way you're going to improve things.
Just like you did. Questioning. That's a very, very good point. They grew up making content was another one of my things here. They communicate. I love how they say, this is so funny. Society says, that Gen Z, they always have their face in their phone. I can go to a restaurant and look around and everybody in that damn place has got their face in a phone. You know what I mean? I can walk through my office and my everybody's on the phone. Doesn't matter if you're Gen Z, Gen X, millennial, we're all on the damn phone. I think that's such a cop out, especially today. And they ask why. I really think that was one of the things I had, which is, as you said, question everything. So I think that's fantastic. Thank you very much, Juan, for being a part of this. I love the training that you give. I tell you what, there's a lot. We have some competitors in this industry for virtual employees, aka virtual assistants, loyal listeners. We call them employees. But they do phenomenal things and they have great training. We have high quality people because you recruit high quality people. We have high quality training because you train them very well. And to give credit where credit's due to your training team, Ivana, and your new trainer who's going to be coming along, Julie, which, she is moving from our finance department, but I am excited the leadership that you're going to be able to show her. Really, really proud of what we're doing, and you're a big part of that. So I do appreciate it, Juan.
Thank you, Jason. And I leave agency owners with one last thing. Stop assuming Gen Z is the problem and start asking whether the system you gave them was built for success.
Nothing better right there. Loyal listeners, you know what I do because I do it for you. Tell me your thoughts and tell me your ideas, and I'm going to tell the world what you have to say. This has been Jason Cass and Juan Rueda. We're both out. See ya.